Oh, you're Sarah.
Thank you, Evie. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Happy October. It is one of my favorite months on all the festive fall. What is happening now? Is that the emergency alert system coming through a couple hours later? All right, let's get to it. We have an amazing guest to bring in today, and I want to make sure that
Echoing on my side.
Is YouTube talking back to me?
Yes.
Hey, Sheena. We have an amazing guest today, and I want to give her all the time in the world because she's going to deliver a ton of great value. So let's get to our welcomes and our goodness to start off, and then we will get to Sheena in a few moments. Evie, do we have slides?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's give our welcome to Oscar, who joined us. He's joining the Monolastis group here at Team Metro. Welcome, Oscar. And Karen Mears, we were in the opposite order. Welcome, Karen. Karen popped right in yesterday and came to work smarter with me and had questions asked and command and dove right in. So welcome to both of you this week. We're excited to have you as part of our family here, and we have some celebration slides to share as well, right, Evie?
Yes, ma'am.
Karen is on top of it. Coach Alicia. With Coach Alicia in the helm, I'm sure all of your people are on fire. We have a bunch of celebrations to be excited about. Our birthdays for the month are there. And then we also want to congratulate all of our bold graduates who, and our anniversaries.
Yes.
So many good things. And our bold graduates, we ended up with 42 graduates, I believe, from bold in this session. And y'all, we set so many listings, we took so many buyer contracts, and put so many into escrow that I'm excited to see how everyone's fourth quarter is impacted and how we start 2024 off super strong because of that. And speaking of starting 2024 off super strong, we do also have Business Planning Clinic this Friday, all day, in person, in the Metro office. It is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mona is feeding us all, so you will have lunch provided. And Evie, anything I need to mention to anybody else about that one?
Nope, just come and register soon so I can get a head count for everybody and give the right number of lunch for everyone. So yes, please do that today by tomorrow.
Yeah, so if you're going to register, you need the link. We'll drop that in the chat here for you. You could do the PDF of the booklet. I truly think you should get the printed one. It's like, I think $20 to get the printed thing done and have it all taken care of. You need to be writing and doing and implementing in the moment and make sure that you have everything, a tangible takeaway to get to. So if you haven't signed up for Business Planning Clinic yet on Friday, it is for everyone who plans on being in business next year. So whether you're brand new or experienced or have done it before or blah, blah, blah. I say blah, blah, blah seriously because people say, oh, I did that last year. And I'm like, cool. Do you plan on being in business next year? Is everything the same? Is the market the same? Are you the same? The expression is you can never be go in the river again, and it's never the same because the river is different and so is the person, right? The market is different and so are you. So come take advantage of this day and all the goodness Ashley is going to pour into us all on Friday. Okay. I will climb off my soapbox and ask for broker and coaching spotlights.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, get off that soapbox because I'm getting on it now. So get out of my way. Let's do some shout outs to some people doing great stuff in the coaching program on Team Alicia. Sam and Yanni, they're on this every week. I'm really proud of them. They got another BRBC signed, and Monty closed an escrow with a buyer. They're all in growth. Congratulations. Broker spotlight, broker issues this week. As the market's going through some transformational changes, some good, some not so good. You know, it's the evolution of the market. And what I am seeing as broker out there is the agents on the outside of the world don't quite know how to go through change. And the only thing that's constant in life is change. So my advice to you is just be kind out there. I see a lot of agents acting, not ours, but agents on the outside acting out of what they should normally be like. And if you run across that, just give them back some kindness and love, because they obviously need it. They're probably having a hard time as the market evolves. But you know what? That's a good thing, because we have it going on here at KW Metro and Signature. We teach you how to navigate through that. So that's it. I'll get off the box now, Sarah. You can get back on it.
Thank you, Robert. It's that time of year, right? It's time to reflect, and a lot of you are ahead and some of you aren't, and everyone's feeling it differently. So that's why I keep climbing back up on that box, because it's super important to me that you guys have all the tools you need to achieve this market at a really high level. And when you're putting in that daily action, you will absolutely accomplish your goals. So show up, attend the right things, keep listening, and make sure you are going into Q4 with a business plan for next year, because this is the time to plan for it, not next year. It's too late if you don't know what to do starting in January. All right. I see Matt. I see Eddie. Let me get my romper room mirror out. Who's going to talk first? Go ahead, Eddie.
Hey guys, how are you? Doing great. How are you? Thank you so much for doing your power prospecting class, by the way, Sarah. I'm so glad that I started jumping in with you guys. If you guys don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Sarah's got a great class in the mornings. Where we're all just sitting there and making our calls and holding each other accountable. And something that she said today kind of rang a bell, and it connected with my own personal business coach as far as reaching out to your past client database. And if it's not your past clients, it's your old friends that you haven't spoken to in a long time. But just, hey, believe it or not, we're in October. I don't know how that happened, but we're on October, and right around the corner is, guess what? It's our holidays. And guess what everyone's going to be saying over the holidays? Oh, I'm going to wait till after the holidays, right? It's just such a great time. Just what Sarah said today is to reach out to your friends, to your old database, to your clients, and just say, hey, can you believe we're in October already? It's right around the corner. All these holidays are coming right up. If there's anything that I could do for you, if you've heard of anyone out there that's thinking about buying or selling a home or needs any kind of mortgage related questions, don't hesitate to call. I got out of my box and I made video text messages today. I was going to use the Reach app and blast it out to all of my clients. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit more individual. Thank you, Matt, for that idea. I got to send out 8 in about 20 minutes, right? But if you're just doing 5, 6 a day, just sending them out every day, for the 5 days a week that you're working, if that, like, you're going to wind up, it's a compound effect, right? Someone's going to wind up reaching back out to you and referring someone to you, people that you haven't talked to in a while. Just reach out, be human, just touch base with them. Honestly, like right now in this market, what else you got to do? Like, it's not like we're all inundated with showings and listings. I mean, some of us have quite a few listings, but get back to the basics, you guys. Rates are not that great. I'm not going to sit here and spoil the good news. Mortgage applications are not like coming down in windfalls every single day like they used to. So we're back to basics, man. Sales 101, pick up the phone, send a text, video text, so cool. So try something different. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out there and keep plugging away, you guys. It's all we can do right now. That's my 2 cents for the day. Other than that, Movement Mondays, this Monday is a holiday, so we're skipping our Monday this week. Let you guys enjoy the holiday, and then we'll pick up following week. So I will be back in touch with everybody and let you guys know who's on the agenda for next following Monday. I think it's 1031 exchanges, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you, Eddie. And another point I'll share with all of you is when Eddie was on there today and we had another agent who was talking about a buyer getting ready, I said, reminded them, like, just make that intro out of the gate so that your buyer, and he's like, well, the buyer doesn't want to buy for 6 months. I said, great, then he's just about on time to talk to the lender today, because tomorrow he's probably going to be too late because he really should get ahead 6 months before he's ready to go. So remember, make those intros, get those survey texts going. The more you're communicating, bring value to all your people in any capacity you can right now, the better your business will be growing forward. Okay, speaking of listings taken, does anyone have any property pitches to make off markets or new listings coming up? Bridget, go ahead.
Thank you, Sarah. So I've got an amazing new property coming up in Rolling Hills Ranch. We'll probably be on the market tomorrow or the next day. This place is gorgeous. I mean, it has like the yard that we all dream of, right? The gorgeous pool, the beautiful hot tub. It's got a bunch of turf. It actually has real land there. I know that most of that area is a lot of postage stamp type properties, but this one, actually the way it sits on the cul-de-sac, it's got a large yard. The kitchen's gorgeous. You walk in and you feel like you're in a model home. Rob Paul will be holding it open this weekend. So if any of you want to see it, it's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, just over 2,600 square foot, and it will be listed at $1,275,000. And we'll be reviewing offers next week. Thank you. Oh, no Melrose.
Thank you, Bridget. Judy, I see your hand up as well.
Am I on? Okay.
You're on.
Yeah, I have a listing on 1290 Santa Liza, number 1, and it's been on for a while, but we just did a price reduction to 769,900, and the seller is VA, and she is willing to take a look at the VA assumable. So that she's got a 3.5 interest rate. So if you have a VA buyer that would like to live down there in Chula Vista, it's a fantastic deal. I will be open this weekend from 12 to 4 on Saturday and Sunday. Also, if anybody wants to shadow me, it's a really great opportunity. So tell your VA buyers that this is the one. It's gorgeous. It's 2,366 square feet. It's got 4 bedrooms. The top floor, being a 3rd floor, is a loft plus bedroom plus bathroom. So it's like a whole apartment upstairs, and 2-car garage. It's got a nice big patio in front, and it's very centrally located in the area of Montecito. We do have Melrose and homeowners, however.
Judy, John Fields asked if you know her loan balance.
I do know her loan balance. It's 693. So the difference is approximately $80,000. So of course they would have to get the $80,000 from somewhere besides that loan. But that is a very low difference compared to so many other people. And so if they could scrounge that much money up, and they have that opportunity to get that low interest rate, it would definitely be worth it. So that's a good point. Thanks, Sarah.
Awesome. Thanks for the question, John. Thanks, Judy. What a great opportunity. So some Melrose, some not Melrose, some assumable loans, 2 new listings. I'm sure there's more out there. Anybody else? Speak now, forever hold your peace, because I will. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
You're on.
Sweet.
Hey.
I got 2 listings. One's currently on the market. It's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath on Imperial Avenue, which is a cusp between Grant Hill and Logan Heights. And that one's listed at $729,000. It's an opportunity zone. You can build up to 4 units. It's currently just 1. It's got lots of potential. And then I got an off-market 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in Windansea for $890,000. So yes, that is under $900,000 in Windansea, La Jolla. It's pretty rare. It's a pretty big complex, but it's a pretty good deal. Seller wants to keep that off market. They're still kind of figuring out where they want to move, but for the right buyer, they will make a move. So let me know.
Awesome. Congratulations on those, Manuel. And I saw Nikki dropped them off market in the chat. Anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your peace, and get ready to learn so many cool things from Sheena. Oh, and Evie. Yes, Evie has one more announcement to make.
This quick announcement: on Monday, we are closed. So please, 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 if you need to access the office, I beg of you, know your codes or get with the staff before Monday. And also congrats to Ashley's great kickoff for her Discover Your Destiny on Monday this week. We are going on next week, even though we are closed. She is still, for those that registered, she will be doing the DYD series number 2 on Monday. We're closed general, but for Ashley's class, we are open for those that have registered. Thank you.
Translation, there will be no leadership in the office to do regular leadership office things. There will be Ashley and whoever is attending in the downstairs training room for Discover Your Destiny. And it will be week 2. And congrats to all. I think there were like 40 something people in that room. Amazing to go through in Q4. All right. Without further ado, if there's any other buyer listing cool stuff to go like that, drop it in the chat, go to the Facebook page, and I will throw it to Bridget to introduce Sheena and take us away.
Thank you so much, Sarah. You guys, I am so excited about this speaker today. Not only is she one of those like world changers, but she's also a dear friend of mine. Sheena not only has a master's in public policy, so right away, you know, she's dangerous, okay? But in addition to that, she has done so many amazing things. She's currently, her team is #1 at Keller Williams Keller Williams in DC, but don't think of her just for DC. She also works in Maryland, Virginia. DC agents are kind of in that weird, unique space where a lot of them are licensed in multiple areas just because there's so many states right around there. So we think our jobs are hard, but she has like 12 contracts she has to know in her area. It's crazy. But in addition to her team being rock stars, the biggest thing that I respect about her is that she does so much for the community and for charity. She and her team have donated over $500,000 to charities. She is currently working on building a school in Kenya for girls. She also does work and raises money for comfort cases. She does quite a bit for nonprofits in her area. I'm totally going rogue here on the bio she sent me, but there's so much that she didn't talk about. One thing that she was involved in her area in Baltimore is she used to be involved in a nonprofit where they put together showers for the homeless, okay, which is pretty cool. But I remember she shared something years ago. Sheena, I don't even know if you remember this, but there was a situation. She was down there at the shower trailer. They're basically trailers with showers in them. And a man came up to her and said, you know, I was actually thinking about killing myself today. And I got a shower and I got some underwear and socks. Thank you so much. She is one of those people that changes the world just by not only in selling real estate, but in her community. So thank you so much, Sheena, for taking so much time today out of your busy schedule. Sorry for getting emotional, but you know, this stuff gets to me, guys. You know how much I love this kind of stuff. So Sheena, hopefully I didn't make you emotional, but what Sheena is going to be talking about today is building communities within your area and how to build a referral business. She doesn't do cold calling. She doesn't do buying ads on Zillow and leads and all of that kind of stuff. She builds it by building communities and by referral. And that's what she's going to talk about today. So Sheena, take it away.
First of all, thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for being my friend and for all the support. And there's a few people on here who have been supporting us in our efforts because it really does take a village for years and years. So Nikki, Ashley, I mean, there's a lot of you, and of course, Bridget. Thank you guys so much. We could not do what we do alone. So, you know, beyond what our team has done, we have raised millions of dollars for charity. And again, you can see there's got to be a voice for that, but it's everybody else who shows up. So these things, people always say, how do you do it all? And I say, I don't. It's like a whole village of people, right? So I can only take about this much credit. And I'm just grateful to be at Keller Williams that believes in this sort of thing, that believes in a culture of giving and being relentlessly generous, and for giving us this opportunity to be in real estate, because it really is a privilege. I was just recently in Kenya, and, you know, there's this whole education system and it's really pretty phenomenal, but there are just no jobs. So I was at one point at the top of a hill where 40,000 people from the slum in Kibera, Kenya, right in Nairobi, walk every single day to earn $1. 40,000 people. There just aren't jobs. So the fact that we even have jobs to go to every day is like such an honor. I've definitely been changed with the work that we have done. So it's changed me, I think, even more so than anything I've done for anyone else. I feel somebody talked about being transformed, and that's definitely how I feel. So thank you. I'm super happy to be here today. Thank you for the weather, because you brought us San Diego weather in DC. And Bridget, we call it the DC metro area. You know that. So that's, you say metro, that's it. It's the DC Baltimore metro area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And we're not usually this warm and gorgeous right now. So I'm loving my San Diego weather. Quick question, Sarah, and thank you for having me. How much time do I have?
You are good till 2:30.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, if you haven't met me before, I talk really, really quickly, so I apologize in advance. I also don't math. I know you talked about education and stuff, but I had you guys set for 10:30 my time because I went the other way with the timing. So I'm so glad I thought about that and thought, how many agents are going to come to a 7:30 class? So here we are. I'm glad I figured that out. Okay, so before I get started, can you guys see my my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just kind of like extra. I like to go off the cuff a little bit to make it like interesting and having to read. But speaking of reading, I brought you some of my favorite books. I'm going to go over them real quick. I try to read about a book a week. And what I like to do, I'm in the middle of this for give and take, as I write in my books, and then I take notes, and then I put it on my Facebook. So follow me if you want my notes. And then when people ask me, what book should I read? I always say, well, tell me what you're dealing with so I can prescribe you a book, because, I think we're all going through different things. And so what you might need might be different than what other people need. So, okay. This book is called Surrounded by Idiots. Has anyone ever read it? If you ever get into a place where you're like,
Sheena, I've lived it.
Oh, yes. Well, okay, we're about to gain a little bit of humility here, but yes, I mean, obviously there are difficult people out there. And we have all lived a little bit. And if you feel like I'm just feeling like this every day, everyone is a freaking idiot, you should probably get this book because maybe it's you. That's basically what it says. It's a deep dive into DISC. And that's like tongue in cheek, right? Really what it is like, okay, if we can better understand people's behavioral type, DISC, right? Which one? We can understand why it is that they act that way, they behave that way, they show up that way, they speak that way. And this can help us to communicate and connect with people a little bit better, or protect ourselves and just stay away. So I think this is a really phenomenal book, digs deep into DISC. If you are feeling any kind of way, that's a good one to read. And it's pretty quick. All right, this book, like, okay, pretty cover, ugly cover. We should judge books by their cover, but we won't judge this one. Okay, it's really little. It's only about 100 pages. I highly recommend this ugly book called How Good Humans Sell if you have trouble asking people for business, or if you have a team of agents or an agent on your team and they're not able to make that a part of their conversation. Mostly it comes from fear. And usually it's from two things. One, either they feel like they don't have the right to ask for that business because, they don't have the confidence. They feel like they haven't done as many deals, or they haven't worked in that neighborhood, whatever it is. There are scripts in here, positive affirmations to kind of remind you of like, you are worthy, and every single person on this call is absolutely worthy of all the business that is out there, right? You're KW agents. We're the freaking best. I've been at 3 different brokerages, my 14th year. We're the freaking best. We have the very best training. We have the best humans. So we should be getting the business so we can go out there and do more good. The second reason people tend not to ask for the business is because they feel like, or reaching out to their network because they feel like they're bothering them. Guess what, guys? Are you the best realtor in the area? Yes. Do you have a lot of value to share on real estate? Yes. Are there other things that you are an expert at? Yes. Do you have a network of amazing people who you could connect other people with who might need something today? Yes. Okay, you have so much value, and that's what this reminds you of. So you are not bothering them because you are a person of value with valuable things and valuable network, and you are good enough for that business. So definitely read that one. It's a quick read. If you suffer from talking too much, this is a great book. Yeah. A lot of us are like attacked. I know, me too. So what I have done the last few years is I've spent a great deal of time reading books on how to listen better and how to ask really good questions. A More Beautiful Question is one of my favorite books. This one is awesome. You will feel attacked. You will learn some things. You will learn some amazing ways to just kind of be comfortable in silence. And guess what? If you're a great listener and you ask great questions, you are an excellent negotiator. Those are the two things, right? And in any situation where you need to persuade someone or influence something, social media, online, offline, that is negotiating. So we need to get really good at that, right? An agent on our team wants to leave. What do we do? How do we influence that? We learn how to get really deep with people and really understand them. Then we can really start to have intimate relationships and move the needle and be more productive. Two more. Has anyone read this one? Who, Not How? All right.
No, but Dan Sullivan is Good to Great is Gap in the Gain.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. That one is awesome too. Yes. I forgot about that one. So Who Not How is like the book to kick your butt every time you go, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. I'm burnt out. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I just went to this awesome training. How am I going to do it? Stop asking how and ask who can do this. Right? Oh, you need to reach out and email 200 of your contacts every single month if you want to stay in touch with them. Oh my God, how am I? No, who's going to do that for you? Is there someone in your world who wants 5 hours worth of work a week? Yes, for less than you are getting paid. If there is someone out there who can do it for $20 an hour, they should be doing it, not you. So this reminds you of that over and over and over again. And it really gives you the courage to go out there and find people so you can go and fulfill your highest need, highest potential, and make your highest dollar. So that's an awesome book. And then finally, this book was written about 20 years ago. Has anyone read it? It's called I Don't Want to Talk About It. It's called Overcoming the Secret Legacy of Male Depression. I have read this book 3 times. It's extraordinary. If you or anyone in your life has experienced this, we have had, people we have hired who has experience, and this book gave me a lot of really great skills to be able to help people. I'm not a therapist. We shouldn't try to be therapists, but at least allowing us to be compassionate, understand better. We are all impacted by this. So I highly recommend this and therapy as well. Okay. The only other book I wanted to recommend was if you need to fire somebody right now, or let somebody go, or you're not sure, there's an amazing book that will, if you're a people pleaser, it's called, what's this one called? Necessary Endings by Henry Cloud. Make sure it's the Henry Cloud because there's 2 books called Necessary Endings. It's the one by Henry Cloud, and it gives you everything you need to end a relationship in a really loving way. All right, you guys good? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so listings, how to get them and how to rock them. You guys have probably been in a million classes on listings. So I'm just trying to present the information a little bit differently and maybe give you some fresh ideas as you move forward, because we have to fill those pipelines so that we can have a really powerful first quarter next year. Bridget already gave you most of the stats. I usually just give them so I didn't just walk off the street. Well, I did just kind of walk off the street. Okay, so we have sold about just over 1,700 homes. We work entirely by referral. We've never bought a lead, never made a cold call, and it's not in any kind of strategic way. A lot of what we do it's not strategic. It wasn't strategic. It was just, I didn't realize that people cold called or door knocked or bought leads until I got to Keller Williams. And all of those ways are excellent ways to get business. I just didn't know that was like a thing. So we just kind of did things our own way. So I hope you'll rip off and duplicate any and all of these things and call me if you have questions. But this has worked for us pretty well. Okay, so let's get straight to it. How do I get listings in this market? So social media. You guys know that's super obvious, right? When I got started in real estate, people were like, why do we spend all that time on Facebook? But this really is critical. And part of what you need to be thinking is how to post on social media and how often. If you're not posting at least once a day on social media, people aren't getting your message. And when I say posting on social media, I mean on your personal profile, not your page. And you might say, well, why not my page? I've been putting energy into it. You may be one of the rare ones who is getting business off of your page, but as they say, you should always inspect what you expect. So really measure and say, what proportion of my business is actually coming from my Facebook page? You should have one, you should be putting your listings on there, but You shouldn't, unless you're getting significant business from it, you probably shouldn't invest a whole lot of time or energy or money into your Facebook page. Facebook went in a different direction with those pages a few years ago. They really started to turn those off when it came to your newsfeed. If you guys notice, you're not getting as many pages as you used to, but you are getting profiles, other people in your newsfeed, right? So that's where you need to be posting at least once a day. I would highly recommend twice a day. So Sheena, what the heck do I post? You should be posting your successes or information about real estate that is valuable to people. Okay. So you may have heard all this before, but what I need to get really detailed on is you should not be transferring information. You should be providing context, right? If people are going to see you as the expert, that means you need to be giving expert advice. So if you go on and you say, hey guys, San Diego metro area, the days on market is 13, the average yield on list price is this. There's not a lot of context. There's not a lot of use for people because you haven't anchored that to anything. What the heck does that mean? Is that good? Is that bad? Right? So you need to be the one translating that information. So put the information out there, but translate it. And you want to tell them why it's good for potential sellers and why it's good for potential buyers. Right? And you might say right now, girl, there ain't no good information for buyers right now. Sure there is, right? Because right now the prices tend to be a little steady. You guys are probably getting escalation clauses still. We are too. Like some places are going up, but there are some pockets, I'm sure in your area too, where prices have remained a little bit flat. And that's a great opportunity, especially if interest rates go up, right? Because that same house is going to cost X amount more, right? And guess what? We should always be thinking about real estate in the medium to long term. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, well, what if the prices go down next year? Well, how long do you plan to be on that home? If you're going to be in that home for 10 or 20 years, let me show you this graph that I have of San Diego metro real estate that shows housing appreciation. Knock on wood, it always goes up over 10, 20 years, right? Like we're not seeing things drop down to 1800 prices. So you need to be the one giving them that information, right? Don't be afraid to reuse information. If you're like, I'm just stuck today, I just don't know what to write today. Just search your profile. You can go to your activity log and you can search your profile and type in new construction. Maybe there was something you had done on new construction recently. Maybe there was a story about a past client, your first client, maybe your biggest client, right? So take those stories and reuse them because most people need to see things 8 times before they remember it, right? And algorithms are kind of funny. So like you may, maybe your mother-in-law watches all your stuff or like mine. She's like, I turn you off. Like, I can't, it's too much. She loves me. She's lovely, but it was too much for her. I get it. So you may have to post several times for somebody to actually get your message. Okay. And tell stories, right? It's all about connecting with people. So don't be afraid to use stories. You may not be able to use the picture of the actual person. Maybe you can, but that's going to be really powerful. Talking about the things that you do that you think should just be standard. Oh, of course I went to the seller's house and like turned the water off when they were on vacation. Oh, well, I'm going to tell you that a lot of agents wouldn't do that. That's your problem, right? Or, that lawn needed to be mowed. So I went ahead and just did it myself. You need to be telling people this because no one else is going to tell people, right? And people should be working with good humans and good agents. Okay, so make sure you go out there and you tell your story on your social media. I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. Nextdoor. If you're not utilizing Nextdoor, definitely get on there. Don't worry about paying for ads, right? I mean, maybe that's worked for you. If it has, call me. I want to know. I'll pay you for the coaching class. But in my experience, paying for Nextdoor ads doesn't really provide much ROI. But just posting on there, what you would post on Facebook will work just as well. Hey guys, we're having a community event. Hey guys, we're having a seller class. We would love to invite you. And again, post on there multiple times. Past clients, reaching out to folks and seeing if they know anybody looking to sell a home. Hey, we've got some buyers looking in name a county, right? I'm wondering if you know anybody who's been talking about selling a home. One of the things that we did recently, I went to this recent conference and a real estate agent mentioned, you guys might know this, it was news to me. Insurance companies on an annual basis will reach out to their clients, some of these companies, and they'll do an annual survey to figure out if there's been any life events so that they can offer more coverage or modified coverage. And so this agent was saying, what if we reached out to our clients, we had an annual family and friends survey, And we checked on them just like a consultant, asking them if they have any life events coming up so we can celebrate with them, so we can connect with them, right? So basically this is what we did, you guys. So copy this if you want. I created a survey, real simple Google form. I created an email that goes out to kind of set them up. Hey guys, this is just a 1-minute survey. We would love for you to fill this out. We just want to stay ahead of your real estate needs and make sure that we are there for you when you need us. Real quick, easy, please, thank you, love you. Then the survey. First question, how long do you plan to spend? How long do you plan to spend how many years do you plan to spend in your current home? You can put 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5, 5 to 10. I think we just left it for short answer. I don't think we actually put that, but that's a very powerful question, right? Once you get all those answers back, think about how you can spend December, which is cold, curating a plan just for that person. Oh, they said they're going to buy and they're going to sell in 2 years. Chances are they're not going to stick to that. They may sell a little bit sooner. They actually have it in their mind they're going to sell at some point. So real estate is on their mind. If you've had anybody purchase a home with you, they're buyers, they're sellers, they're real estate investors. So always know that real estate is on their mind, right? So they give you that plan, whether we're going to sell, if they say that they need to sell their home and buy a new home in a year, when are they going to start looking? 8 months from now, right? So now you can set up a really curated plan. And it can be really easy. Just put the Johnson family in your phone, every month, just put the word Johnson family at noon on Monday. And then, you're going to follow up. Like that is like the easiest way to do it, right? It's messy, but who cares? It's easy and you're going to get it done. So that's the first question we ask on there. The second question we ask is, have you thought about a vacation home, a rental property, an Airbnb, or a commercial property? Are you considering purchasing or selling one of these? Okay, so there's a little bit more you can get. Every single one of these questions, we require an answer. Do you have a life event coming up that we should know about? Prom, marriage, blah, blah, blah. And that allows you to do some gift drop off, some letters, whatever it is you want to do to celebrate with them, right? I actually can't remember what the last question is, but nothing was as powerful as that first question. So if you can get that out to people, I'll tell you what our plan is. Again, we're experimenting. But what this agent said was she's trying to get the gold out of her database. There is gold. And we didn't just send this to past clients, we sent it to our entire database. Now, if we get a 10%, 20% return rate, oh, I'll be so happy. But we are aiming for more. And this is what we're going to do. We are going to send a message. We're going to send that email. We just sent it today. We're going to send it again in a week, again in 4 weeks. And for any of our past clients that haven't responded, our agents are going to take a list of clients, and they're going to text them the link to this survey, and they're going to offer them a $5 Starbucks gift card to have them fill it out and remind them it only takes 1 minute. So there's a way that you could get stuff out of your database that you didn't know existed. So hopefully you guys use it and hopefully it works. Any questions about that before we keep going? Okay, so definitely
That's magical.
Oh, thank you. I hope it works. It's got to work, right? Like it's got to work. Someone was talking earlier about like, oh, I just do this thing. I think the great loan officer you had there said, I just, 5 people a day. Yes, whatever you can do. Like that is the name of the game. Just do as much as you can every single day and the business will come, right? Feeding off of that, I had another idea. Okay, something else I did recently, and this is, that doesn't cost much money to do what I just talked about. But something I did recently was and we keep track of throughout the year. So if you haven't started doing this, like start doing it now. We keep track of everyone who has sent us business, right? Like past clients and that sort of thing. We keep track of them. And it's basically like, I hope I can say this, a gift tracker. We don't promise them a gift. I guess that's okay. Okay. So let's just say we're celebrating our people. So we keep that list. Toward the end of the year, I look at the list and I go, okay, who is sending us the most business? And then I reach out to those people. This time, I think it was 4 people I chose, these 4 ladies. And I said, hey, ladies, you have been so great to us. And I want to see you. I want to celebrate you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm going to take you out to this restaurant. It's this restaurant on the wharf called a Lily. It's like the sexy new restaurant in DC. Has the most amazing food. It's not inexpensive. 3 of them showed up and I asked them each to bring, they could each invite 1 + 1, right? Like some other lady. And from that, I got 4 deals from the other people who came. I paid like $600 for that dinner, but it was worth it. So something special and unique. That's something that, take it or leave it, but I've kind of gotten away from, hey, let me invite every single person we've ever touched, we've ever talked to, we've ever worked with, invite them to an event. What we've tried to do in the last few years, and I think it is working, I know it is working for us, is trying to get more intimate with people, especially those who have already shown us that they are evangelists for us, right? So more often than not, we're doing smaller micro events for people who support us. Are those the people out there on Facebook, in those moms groups tagging us? You're getting invited to our events, right? So we want to celebrate the people who are already loving on us. So that's really what we are focused on there. Let's see, unique value proposition. That's really important. We could talk about that for a few hours, but just remember, every single person knows at least 10 real estate agents. So why should they choose you? Right? So spend some time thinking about that. Maybe spend some time asking yourself good questions, great questions like, what do I bring that is different than anybody else? What is authentically me? Right? When people finish the transaction with me, what do they always say? Go read your testimonials, see what people are saying about you. Think about the people who worked with you in your past life. Maybe you just started in real estate. You have skills to share, right? Just because you're a new agent doesn't mean you don't have a unique value proposition. You probably have hustle. You have lots of energy. You have skills and talents that worked in your old job that you can bring to this one, right? For real estate is so versatile, right? If you're really great, if you're not like maybe a people's person, but you're great with numbers, that's kind of like my husband. He handles most of our listings, and guess what? The stuff he puts together for people and they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to rent this place or if I want to sell it. Then he puts together an unbiased analysis. Could I do this? No, math ain't mathin' for me, but he can do that, right? So all of us have these skills. Some of you were teachers before, so you were able to educate people. And when you educate someone, you really are showing them love because you are advocating for them and you're protecting them in the biggest investment of their lives. So just take some time to think about your unique value proposition. And then part 2 is implementation, right? We can think all these things, we can have great ideas, we can write them down, but unless you put it out there to the world, they're not going to know. So be unafraid of going out there and saying, look, this is how I can serve you. This is how I'm different than other agents. And say it again and again and again and put it on a sneaker. Okay. Events. So we've already talked a little bit about that. Some ideas I can give you about events. Okay. So a lot of what I'm talking about, you might be like, girl, when are you going to talk about how I actually get a listing? You guys, this is how you build a business by referral. You just have to meet as many people as possible every single day. You have to add them to your database and you have to love on them. That's how you get it. You can also cold call people. You can knock on their doors, right? But the conversion rate is much higher when you've connected with that person in person already. And what if you've already given them something of value? You might be the only one who's at the listing appointment. There may not be 5 other listing appointments showing up because they already love you and trust you. So that is the whole thing going on here, right? This is the vibe. So if you're like, I don't get, this is what we're going for, right? We are giving. And a lot of people aren't going to give back, right? That's just not how everybody is. And that's okay. You're just trying to find the people that are similar to you and are like, you know what? This person was really valuable. They protected me. They saved me. I see them doing good work. So maybe I'll throw them some business, right? And most people aren't going to, but a lot of people are. And I can promise you that because we built our business on giving first. Okay. So events, some of the events that we do a lot around charity. So this is kind of the way I think about it since we have limited time, 15 minutes. I'm always thinking, what can we do and leverage it for charity? Right? I like to say I will exploit any opportunity for charity. We're going to have a bake sale. Okay, can we give the money to charity? Oh, we need to run a campaign. How can we get money to charity? Right? We need to have a class for KW. How can we raise money for charity? So if you constantly think about this, it can be really powerful. And what it does is it creates this ripple effect of giving, right? If you're going to have a bake sale, you might as well give the money to charity, right? And the way we do it, so this is our 8th annual bake sale that we're having coming up soon. The money all goes to our local child advocacy center that helps kids who, it provides mental health to kids who have been usually sexually abused. So it's a really, really important program. And the last one raised $4,000. We don't put prices on anything. And it is literally the easiest thing to do. All I do is put a few tables out on my, out in front of my house, and we set up an Eventbrite. You can steal mine. Just go look up bake sale and look for my name on Eventbrite. It's out there right now. Steal everything. And essentially the people in our community make the food, make the baked goods. And then I just keep reminding people through Facebook or Nextdoor to come. And then I put the link so they can donate directly to the campaign. So I do go to the charity first. I say, can you give me a link just for this? So I can keep updating people. Hey guys, we're this close, or we're this far off. And then people are like, I'm not eating carbs today, or I don't eat gluten. They're like, here's $100. They just come and throw money, right? There's no prices on anything. I personally make mine kid run and kid baked. I mean, I've seen these baked goods. They're not kid baked. But that's what we say. So that's one really cool way. We used to do a father-daughter dance, and I would pay for the event, which ended up not being that much. You can also get, lenders and title companies will often help you with this. So you fund the event, and then all the ticket funds all the money that you raise through tickets all goes to charity. So we don't keep any of it. We do like that little, I don't know what that's called, where you match the money, you put in $1 and you get half the pot at the end. So there's lots of extra ways, and that usually raises, I think, $4,000, and then I just match it. So it's a really great opportunity for you to show people, like, I'm not just taking from my community, I'm giving back, and providing such an amazing opportunity, right, for these dads and their daughters. And a lot of our community members will come out for this. So remember, how am I going to do this? Well, gosh, I'm going to have to take all the professional photography. I'm going to have to do the decorations. You guys, I don't have the skill set for any of those things. I don't know how to decorate. So you go out in your community and say, who would want to be a part of this? And you're going to get people lining up, especially if it's for a great cause. So definitely suggest the events. One final event I'll talk about, since this is something that I talk about a lot, and I mentioned this earlier. You all have skills and talents that you can share, right? And maybe at first you think, how is this related to real estate? I'm sure if you think about it for a little bit, you're going to go, okay, this is what helps me, right? Maybe you're a really good listener. God, please teach a class on that, right? Maybe you're a really good listener. Maybe you're really good at mathing. Whatever it is, guess what? You can teach that class to your community, and you can charge people to come to your class, like maybe $20, $25, and all that money can go to charity. I bet you all are great negotiators. Why not teach a class to your local high school students, or your local, women in your community? We do a women's empowerment thing every year. And so I teach on negotiating. I teach the same class I teach to agents. I just take out all the real estate stuff. So just think about how you can be a giver and give back to your community in ways that you already do anyway. You already have those skills. So why not put it out there? And this is a unique way that you can get in touch with people before they're thinking about selling. They sign up through Eventbrite, you add them to your database, they start to get your monthly newsletter and all the other things that you send out. Okay, any questions before I keep going? All right, guys, I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you. I apologize. Okay, so seller classes. We do a virtual seller class. For a long time, I'm like, this is really dumb. Who's going to come to a seller class? What would I even teach, right? Because you're like, it's a really private affair. Like, you're not going to go into their house and talk directly about their neighborhood. Anybody could show up for this. Yes. So I finally got over my stubborn self, and I did the seller classes. Now we do them all the time. I will say I would expect dozens of people on your first call. And then after that, if you do it once a month, it's going to be a lot fewer people. But gosh, if one of those people end up selling a home with you, how awesome is that? And guess what? You putting that information out there that you do a seller class, even if no one shows up and you're always canceling your class, that happens sometimes. People are going to take notice. And then in those Facebook groups on Nextdoor, someone's going to say, does anyone know a great agent? And they're going to go, oh yeah, well, Judy always does these seller classes, right? So now you're the expert. So it's just good PR for you. Okay. So what is a seller class? You guys can always come to ours. I think our next one is in November. Han leads it, so it won't be as fast as this class. It might be kind of boring a little bit. Okay. So the seller class, okay. So the seller
Sleeping
class,
on the couch.
actually, I always say that, and people in my community are like, "No, it was really good." I'm like, okay, no, he is really good, and he tries to make it fun. Sometimes it's hard if like people don't put their cameras on, though. You know, you're like talking to your blank screen and laughing at yourself. So the first bit, you're just like, hey, this is who I am. This is kind of what I've done. If you're a new agent, just talk about your office. Hey, we're the #1 office. We sell X amount of homes a year. Just come in there with your confidence, right? And then you're going to talk about the market. And you're going to say, look, this is what we're seeing, and this is what you should expect, and keep it positive. Whatever you do, keep it positive. Why give them bad news, right? You should not lie to them. You should tell them the truth. You should tell them exactly what's happening. Be honest with them. But if it's the right time for them, it's the right time for them to sell, right? And everyone's in a different position. You may have somebody who moved into their house 40 years ago, and who cares what the interest rate is, because they're going to go buy a place with all that equity, right? You just never know. Some people just have to sell. So come in there, talk about these two things. Maybe have a little quick list of like what people generally need to do to get their home ready for sale. Maybe a few do's and don'ts. Keep it to a half hour. Literally, that's all you need to do. Go on GP chat and say, type up a seller class, copy it. Like, this is easy stuff, you guys. They come in there, and that's the first 30 minutes. And then you're going to say, all right, so now if you guys want to turn on your cameras or just ask me questions, you will have people like my mom who are like, oh, do you see this? Oh, there's my cat. Okay, do you see this sink right here? I'm wondering what I should do with this sink. And people get into it. And it's so awesome, because even though you didn't go visit them, you get to see their house and you get to bring them that value. So I highly, highly recommend it. Yes, you can do seller classes in person, virtually, and it can be really powerful. And guess what? Say you have 20 people sign up and no one comes to your class. You now have 20 people who raised their hand and said, I want to sell a home. Sorry, I couldn't make it. The weather was too good. I went to the beach. Time to nurture them. Reach out. Wondering what your home might be worth? Here you go. Right? Okay. Orphan buyers. I won't spend too long here, but if you're new to real estate, orphan buyers, basically you sold the home. Most likely the agent who helped those buyers was like, hey, thanks so much for letting me help you. I'm going to put you on an email drip campaign. Call me when you want to sell. Okay. So now you have an opportunity to help those people. So just look for ways to help, whether it's dropping off items, trying to get them set up on a home bot, invite them to your events, whatever you can do. They're fair game. There's no buyer broker agreement anymore. Most likely. Is that right? Or is that not right in California?
You're 100% right, Sheena.
Okay, cool. Whew. Okay. We got a lot of stuff going on with NAR right now. I'm not trying to violate any laws. Okay. So I told you I was going to come back to the social media and what you should post. This is really, really critical. Forgive me if this is super obvious. A lot of times people talk about objections that they have to handle, and they say, you know, I have to handle this objection when I get into this appointment, and I don't know what to say, or I do know what to say, but I freeze up. Most of that objection handling could have been handled long before. And this is how. Especially if you're building a referral-based business, you're already in contact with those people. They are following your newsletters. They are following your social media. So you should start breaking down those objections before you even get there, right? So what do those objections look like? Hey, you know, and you could tell a story. It doesn't even have to be a real story. It's a story that we've all heard a million times. We know this happens, right? But you could say, you know, I went and visited a seller today, a homeowner today, and he had mentioned that he thought he could sell for this amount, and he knew his home was 500 square feet smaller, but he thought, why not go for it? The real estate market is really strong. The first thing we need to do is validate their feelings and their thoughts and say, yeah, I totally get, and this is the story you're telling, right? And what I told them was, for sure, like the market, there are some really great things going on in the market right now, and there are definitely comparables. Homes, by the way, try not to use too much industry language. Not everyone knows what comps mean or comparables. There are some homes that have sold in the past 3 months, 6 months, that would seem to justify that your home could sell for near that amount. However, and then explain to them what the issue is. The interest rate has gone up, which has pushed prices down a little bit. It has increased the days on market. It has decreased buyer buying power, right? And you can work out the numbers. Maybe talk to a loan officer if you're not a person who maths, and say, what does it look like to buy $1 million home now with financing versus 6 months ago? So you can really start talking real numbers. So you just tell this story on social media and say, and then you don't want to turn anybody off, right? So you show your understanding and you say something to the effect of, we can try out this price and see, we just have to have a plan in place if it doesn't sell at that price, right? So you want to try to handle these objections beforehand. And anything that may come up that may sort of show you as more of the expert, right? So some agents may go in there and say, yes, you should update this, you should update this, but you know better. And at least where I am, the highest ROI comes from fresh paint in your house. Like that is the cheapest, most wonderful way that you could update a home and doesn't cost as much as a new kitchen, right? So just think about any objections you're getting. Maybe you guys have an amazing office. I can already tell, like, amazing office where you've got a lot of people with experience. So ask them what their objections are they're getting and how they handle them. And these are the things you want to start to put on social media, and maybe examples in your monthly newsletter so that people have that information. So you're not dealing with it when you get there. You've gotten all that stuff out of the way so you can get right to, all right, what do we need to do to get this place sold? Okay. Let's see. The best listing agents are those who are great listeners, masters of their market. So make sure you're studying that. But you guys are not on Bright MLS, are you? Okay. Do you guys have any way to check like the average days on market for a zip code or a neighborhood over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years?
Oh yeah. And Sheena, I give them very detailed stats every month, but we do have the tools to go even more minute in the areas.
So am I way over? Should I have finished 11 minutes ago?
Nope, you're good. And the reality is you can finish what you're doing and people can stay or they can go. But I think the ones who are getting value would give you an extra 5 minutes or so if they want to. So
okay,
like 5 hours.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, don't make her hang up. So you go as long as you want. They'll drop off when they're done.
Oh my gosh, I'll come back. I love San Diego. I'll come back. Okay. So thank you. So masters of the market. So you're already getting that data. That is such a gift. Nobody does that. That's freaking awesome that you guys give that data. So get that data and really start talking about it to show people. Okay. Because that's what people want to see. That's going to be the differentiator. Their sister or brother may be a real estate agent, but if they're not constantly telling them what's going on with the market and why it matters for them, you're the one who's likely to be hired. Know your value proposition. We already talked about that. That's going to be key, not just knowing it, but putting it out there so people know. Make sure that what you want people to see and what helps differentiate you from the others is out there in your buyer guides, your seller guides, on your social media, in your conversations that you have with anyone and everyone, right? Sometimes you are meeting somebody for the first time and you have just a minute to get out there who you are and why you're different. So you want to make sure that you've practiced that. Better at follow-up. That is huge. Most of us in this business, and if you look at your KPI, you'll probably be able to validate this. We are optimists. A lot of us, like, we're optimists, right? So we think, oh, you know what? They haven't called me back in a week, but I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. They like loved me at the appointment. And then you're like, oh my God, they're on the market, right? Because we didn't do the follow-up. So you got to keep following up. Don't trust your optimism. Make sure you continue to follow up because you never know what could happen, right? And maybe there was a question you missed that you didn't ask. So you get on the phone and you realize, ooh, they don't sound committed. They don't seem like they love me that much anymore. So then you know to ask a deeper question. Hey, so what's going on? Is there something I didn't answer? Is there something else you guys needed? So again, going into better questions, that can only happen if you're doing that follow-up. And then understand how to negotiate, which we already talked about. I guess you can take a picture of this. These are just a few more books. I don't think these are on repeat. So that was all I had for today. I'm sorry I went over. Do you guys have any questions, concerns?
You did not go over. You are right on time, and we have a minute left for questions, even within our timing. So I'm sure there might be some comments coming. Don't be shy, y'all. I saw questions popping up in the chat.
Sheena, where's where can we find your next seller virtual class?
Yeah. If you go to Eventbrite and type in my name, I think you will see it. But if not, let me see if I can put my phone number in here. And I can text it to you, or you can type it. It's 202-476-9463. And I can text it to you. 202-476. All right. I do a buyer class too, if you ever want to come on that one.
Sheena, why don't you email it to me and then I'll put it in our Facebook group for our whole Metro office in case anybody wants to sign up.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
And thank you so much, Sheena. This was vital. I'm very appreciative.
Thank you.
I just want to add, Sheena, I'm sorry I couldn't be on camera today, but I had to be driving. We joke in our office sometimes that I'm kind of a big deal. Y'all, Sheena is like the real deal, big deal. And the fact that she just gave us an hour of her time and some super awesome tips and secrets, man, that's priceless. And I don't know very many places that happens. And you're right. KW is the best of the best. And so thank you. I love you. Keep changing the world.
Oh my God. Thank you. You guys are too much. But I'll come back anytime. I love when people show up for class. So you guys did, and that was awesome. So thank you. And literally call me anytime. If you're like, I don't know, I'm having trouble with hiring, or I'm having trouble, with this obstacle, this objection, just hit me up. I love masterminding. So, and yeah, I'm in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So if you need anything, or if you come out here, let me know and I'll tell you all the good restaurants. Don't let people steer you into bad restaurants. I will help you.
Thank you, Sheena, for being here today. Thank you, Bridget, for setting it up. And yes, please think of Sheena for all of your DC area referrals. She did not ask me to say that, but of course, that's what we should say. And that survey, that is gold that I've literally never heard before. And I can't believe there's still things I've never heard of before. So thank you for expanding all our brains. Happy October to you. And I'm sure your next seller seminar is going to be really full of people.
Of agents. That's perfect. He's gonna really appreciate it. So just laugh when he tells me to go. Okay. Thank you
awesome.
so much. Thanks
guys. You guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.